the Black Information Network, and BINnews.com.
Wendy's Breakfast 2 for $3 Biggie Bundles lets you choose your perfect duo from your fave 4, like a sausage or egg and cheese biscuit, small seasoned potatoes, or medium hot coffee. Limited time only during breakfast hours. U.S. price and participation may vary. Not valid in the combo. Single item at regular price.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
Lakers legends Michael Cooper and Jerry West are among 14 finalists for the class of 2024 Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame. Cooper helped the Lakers win 5 NBA championships. He also was an 8-time selection on the NBA's all-defensive team. This is the second time West is getting Hall of Fame consideration. He was inducted as a player in 1980. This one is for his work as an executive with the Lakers, Memphis Grizzlies, Golden State Warriors, and the Clippers. West is still working for the Clippers as a consultant. The inductees will be announced April 6th during the NCAA Final Four in Phoenix. Clippers coach Ty Lue was fined $35,000 by the NBA for criticizing the refs after the Clippers beat Golden State on February 14th. Lue was ejected from the game early in the fourth quarter after getting 2 technicals. Lue was one of only 5 NBA coaches that had not received a tech all season. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
Climate is king.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe that caring for the community means caring about the climate. You might have heard that we announced a pretty bold 12-month, $2 million campaign to do 4 things. Increase climate literacy, turn up the volume on communities of color in the climate conversation, connect everyday people with the resources they need to survive and thrive, and highlight frontline climate justice crusaders of color throughout this year. KBLA Talk 1580 will be bringing you insightful interviews on all of our shows to help raise your climate IQ. Each quarter this year, we will also be hosting free climate events in various communities throughout the city with food, fun, and forward-thinking conversations. Thanks to partners like LADWP, Metro, Caltrans, the Sierra Club, the California Community Foundation, the California Endowment, AQMD, MWD, and more. You'll also be hearing more about a couple of national town halls broadcasting live from Los Angeles, to which you will be invited. And we'll be rolling out a robust social media campaign on all our platforms, as well as an outdoor media campaign, all designed to educate, enlighten, and empower you in our fight for climate justice.
We want cleaner air.
Caring about the community means caring about the climate. At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe that we really can change the world if we care enough. If we care enough. If we care enough. If we care enough. If we care enough.
Yeah, 'cause girls is players too. Yeah, 'cause girls is players too. Keep it playing, baby. 'Cause girls is players too. Ladies getting money all around the world, 'cause girls is players too. What you know about living on the top? Penthouse suites, looking down on the ops. Took her for a test drive, left them on the lot. Time is money, so I spend it on a watch. Hold on, little bitty showing through the white tee. You can see the thong busting on my tight jeans. Okay, rocks on my fingers like he wanna wife me. Got another shorty, she ain't nothing like me. Yeah.
I'm Tavis Smiley, and I am thrilled to have you tune into our program in this third and final hour today. And what an hour. First of all, it's been 2 great hours already. An amazing show today. And this hour promises not to disappoint. In this hour, women's basketball legend, 4-time champion Cheryl Swoops, and WNBPA Executive Director Terry Carmichael Jackson join us for a conversation about a new documentary. It's called Shattered Glass, a WNBPA story, now streaming on Tubi. Before we commence our conversation, here now some sounds from the documentary Shattered Glass.
So you know we're doing a documentary. 3 players, NECA, Stewie, and JJ.
Those are great.
Exactly.
You become a fan of people once you get a chance.
Exactly.
We don't know to care about things until we're told stories about why we care about them. And we need to tell stories about women athletes, because otherwise, how are we supposed to know?
This is the meeting of the CBA committee. We are exactly 12 months out before a decision on opt-out.
And that's what today is all about, understanding our value and our worth and what that looks like.
Will we opt out? That's the question.
We're clearly at a moment where things are pivotal in how people are viewing women's sports.
We have amazing basketball players in every market that deserve a story to be told.
New York City, eh? Maybe he's gonna come October 12th.
That's game one of the finals. We have no choice.
My mom loves that I'm kind of like a junior mom. Being from the Bahamas, coming to the United States to become an MVP.
I'm not one of the best, I'm the best. So when you talk about me, put some respect on my name.
Everyone in the sports world, wake up.
We all want this league to succeed, but we're not satisfied.
We need to get past this idea that we should just be grateful for how it is.
He broke a lot of records. Attendance, ratings. Oh, women's sports, right? Hell no.
For all of the people in the league who work their asses off.
I want to be a great mom and a great wife, but also a great basketball player.
We are the premier women's basketball league in the world for a reason.
They will impact what is next for women's sports.
I want to see it better.
This is our opportunity to get it right.
Pleased to welcome basketball legend Sheryl Swoopes to this program. Sheryl, how are you today?
I am wonderful. How are you?
If I complained, I'd be an ingrate. I am doing well and delighted to be in conversation with you, and I'm delighted to have the executive director of the WNBPA, Terry Carmichael Jackson, on this program. Terry, how are you today?
I'm doing great. I'm happy to be in the midst of your company, of Cheryl's company. Let's get it going.
Let's get it going. And let me start with
right
this.
Back at you. Hi, Terry and Tavis. I'm a fan, just so you know. I'm a big fan.
Thank you.
I'm super excited to have this conversation.
I'm honored and I'm humbled and I'm tickled and I'm just delighted to have you both here. Nothing like being in a conversation with a bunch of greatness. So let's get the party started. Let me start with you. Terry. Tell me more about this documentary. The trailer gives us a sense of what it is, but tell me more about the documentary, how it came to be, and why you think now is such a propitious time for its release.
Absolutely. You know, I've been in this role going on 8 years. Sheryl, can you believe that? And I am stepping into this role. I thought I want to tell their stories. I need to share with the world what I am so privileged to do in this role, in what I call a job. I feel very protector, very much like a protector of their stories. I had the opportunity to talk with so many people about my desire to see them on a big screen, to see them on the big stage. And if you if you give the universe your intentions enough, it will resonate with somebody. Somebody will hear you and look to make it happen. That somebody was Jess McCourt. She was working with us and with our licensing partner. She moved on to Malka Entertainment, and she said, Terry, this is going to be the first conversation I have with my bosses. This is the first project I want to make happen. You talk about these women so much. You talk about how dynamic they are. Let's tell the world. Let's show the world. And I've been telling people, Jess can sell her behind off. And I would be on these calls and she'd be pitching and she made it come true. She made it come true. And I'm just so privileged to have this job. I'm privileged to tell this story, be one of the executive producers on it, worked with somebody like Jess McCourt, Andrea Busila, who's our director. They were able to help us reach out to Sheryl and say, we need your voice, Sheryl Swoopes. You are a legend. You are a pioneer. You are a trailblazer. You are the first. We need you to be a part of this too. So that's how it all came to be in a very short summary of how it all came to be.
And we will hear the voice of Sheryl Swoopes when we come forward. Just getting started in this hour. I'm glad I have them for the hour, talking about this documentary, Shattered Glass, a WNBPA story. Of course, we all saw Sabrina and Steph go at it on Sunday at the, was that Saturday? Saturday. It must have been, Saturday. I get my days confused. The game was on Sunday. All the skills competitions were on Saturday. And everybody was tuned in to watch Sabrina and Steph go at it on that three-point contest. And she put some heat on him. She put some heat on Steph Curry on Saturday, but it was a great moment to watch. I think another moment in the telling of the story, the elevating of the story, the amplifying of the story of the impact that the WNBA is having. And this documentary, Shattered Glass, is our subject for the hour. When we come forward, the voice of the one and only Cheryl Swoops on Tavis Smiley.
This is getting good.
Yeah, man.
Tavis Smiley continues when we come forward.
What is dedication?
My biggest fear in the middle of my addiction was that my kids wouldn't have a father. And I started thinking, you know what? This isn't my story. I definitely had to become a better man to be a better father. It's important to me that my kids are empowered and truly believe that if they can think it, they can do it.
That's dedication. Visit fatherhood.gov to hear more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Joey from Vermont, a farmer trying to get through the winter. Adriana from South Carolina, a single mother living paycheck to paycheck. Liam from Ohio, an injured father struggling to provide for his family. Hi, I'm Shanola Hampton, and I support the Feeding America network of food banks because they help provide over 6 billion meals to people in need each year. Learn more at feedingamerica.org.
It's time to represent your community in the 2024 presidential primary election. When you vote, you get to decide what is best for you, your neighborhood, and your family. Use your power. Make a plan to vote today. Visit plan.lavote.gov. That's plan.lavote.gov to get everything you need to vote in the March 5th presidential primary election. Brought to you by the Los Angeles County Registrar.
At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
Roll Charmin Ultra Strong when you drop in the beat. It cleans with way less effort on your seat. Yeah, roll it, drop it. Yeah, roll it, drop it. Okay. Charmin flows extra strong from the road. Your butt hella clean while you're sitting on the bowl. Yeah, it's all you need for that bathroom groove. Get you in and out without nothing to prove.
Charmin Ultra Strong cleans better so you can use less. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
The venue's set. Families coming in from all over. It's our quinceañera. With all the excitement, it may be easy to overlook COVID-19. It's still a risk, and that's why it's muy importante to get this season's COVID-19 shot ahead of time. It helps protect against COVID-19, which can cause severe illness and hospitalization. So let's set the date, vaccinate, and celebrate. Learn about a vaccine option and book this season's updated COVID-19 shot today at schedulecovidvax.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
When you use Bounce dryer sheets and your clothes look amazing, it's the sheet. Less static in your life? Yeah, it's the sheet. Smelling fresher than ever? It's the sheet. Oh, so soft fabric? Ooh la la. It's the sheet. Less wrinkles on your clothes? You know it's the sheet. Bounce dryer sheets. More freshness, more softness. Less static, less wrinkles. It's the sheet.
Let's get back to more of this rich dialogue with Tavis Smiley.
Tavis Smiley and Cheryl Swoops and Terry Carmichael Jackson. Of course, we all know Cheryl Swoops as a four-time champion, WNBA, and Terry Carmichael Jackson is the executive director of the WNBPA and executive producer on this amazing documentary called Shattered Glass, a WNBPA story. I'm delighted to have both of them on this program in this hour. All right, Cheryl Swoops, first of all, once again, just delighted to be in dialogue with you. When you look at the journey that is the story of the WNBA, you think what? I don't want to color this first question much more than that. You can paint however you want to paint on this canvas. But when you look at the journey that this league has had, at this point, you say what? You see what?
I see and say a lot.
Yeah.
But it's all good stuff. You know, I think for me, the biggest thing that comes to mind is growth and opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
And what I mean by that is when the league started back in 97, and being the first, we were just excited that we had an opportunity to play women's professional basketball here in the U.S. and not have to go abroad if we chose not to. But an opportunity, it's everything from what they're accomplishing and getting done on the court and all the opportunities off the court that are so much bigger and greater than we had i.e. this documentary. And, you know, Terry spoke very well about it, but from a former player who is still involved with the league and is a fan of the league and a fan of the players, I'm just excited that these women are finally getting an opportunity to tell their stories outside of hooping. You know, like people see them, they watch the game, and they're like, oh, like she's nice, she got skill, but they don't really know who these women are outside of the game. And I feel like that's so important that people get to see that side and get to hear that side, because just as women in general, we just do so much. We wear so many hats, and it's more impressive to me what these women are capable of doing on the court when you hear everything that they're doing off the court. And I'm excited that I had a small piece of it. Yeah. Because my perspective is probably very different from the average person that's going to look at the documentary.
Yeah. Tell me more about how you, to your point about all the hats that women wear, and indeed they do, and if on top of that they're trying to be, or in fact are being, a professional athlete, that just adds more to the mix. Tell me more about how you navigated that during your playing days and navigated it well enough to win 4 championships.
I mean, it was hard. Like, I'm not going to sit here and lie and say, well, that was a piece of cake. You know, it was hard. But I will say, for me, the most important part of it that allowed me to do those things and be successful was just having a great support system. And that support system for me wasn't very big by choice, but having my mom around allowed me to go out, do what I needed to do as far as my job, working out. So for those who don't know, I almost missed the entire first season, the inaugural season of the WNBA, because I was pregnant with my son. I had my son on June 25th, the day the WNBA launched. So the first game, I remember in the hospital bed, I had my son, and I turned the TV on immediately because I wanted to watch the LA Sparks tip-off versus the New York Liberty. And so because I had that great support system, because there was a part of me that did feel guilty once I, came back to play. So 6 weeks after I gave birth, I was back out on the court. And that, too, was by choice, because it was that important to me that I was able to be a part of the inaugural season of the WNBA. But there was a part, though, from a mental standpoint that I struggled with every single day that I never really shared, I never talked about, because even back in 1997, you just didn't talk about stuff you were struggling with from a mental standpoint. And I just figured it out. I just dealt with it. Again, I had my mom there who helped me get through a lot of that, because as a professional athlete, that's what we have to do. We have to work out. We got to make sure we're in top shape. And so for me to be able to leave my son and do those things to get back in shape, if my mom had not been there, I honestly don't know how I would have dealt with that and how I would have gotten through it.
Lord,
so it's everything from being a mom, being entrepreneurs, to being wives, to cooking, and like all of those things. Not only did I do that when I was playing, I continue to do those things. But, Tavis, that's what we do.
No, that's what we do. That's what y'all do, I should say. And I will say this: the things we owe our mothers, Lord Jesus, the things we owe our mothers for getting us through so many situations in our lives. Let me just ask you right quick, since you said this, I want to get back to Terry in a second. But since you went there, sure, I want to follow you, and that is how you process. And I want to be gentle here. How you process the fact that so many athletes, professional women athletes in particular, are being much more vocal, much more open about their mental challenges, the stress of doing what they do. I mean, Simone Biles has been open about that. The sister tennis player whose name I'm forgetting right about now, she has been vocal about that. Here you come raising this issue now. So I see a number of professional athletes talking about it, but women really are out front. Professional athletes, women are out front talking publicly about the stress, the mental stress of trying to navigate the journey that they're navigating. And to your point, years ago when you first started playing, when you joined when the WNBA started, that's not a topic people talked about publicly, but it's becoming much more People are being more transparent about it, more open about it, and I think that's a good thing. What's your read?
I think it's a great thing. And to your point, it's not that it didn't exist, right? Back then, it was just so taboo or so not okay to talk about it. And a lot of people would look at professional athletes, honestly, and say, how could your life be that stressful, right? That you play a sport.
You live in the dream. You live in the dream. You live in the dream.
Yeah, like I heard that a lot.
Yeah.
But you know what comes with that in the living the dream part and people looking at that are the expectations and sometimes unrealistic expectations that are put on you. And you're in the spotlight all the time. You can't make a mistake, and every single thing that you do is under a microscope, and people are constantly critiquing you and criticizing you. And for me personally, as much as I try to shut that out, you still feel it. Like you still hear it, you feel it. And if you don't have the right people around you and supporting you and in your circle, it could cause you to just to do things you probably don't want to do or even think about thoughts like that. And for me, I didn't have it, didn't know who I could talk to besides my mom. But I will say, kudos to every single athlete that is addressing it, that's talking about it, that's not ashamed of it, that's not embarrassed about it. And, when I look at the women in the WNBA, Skylar Diggins-Smith, who, Skylar had a baby and came back from it and dealt with postpartum depression and mental struggles, and I like the fact that we're talking about it, we're discussing it, because there are so many people in the world that look up to athletes for a lot of different reasons, and knowing that they're just regular, everyday, common people who deal with mental issues every single day and mental health issues, to be able to look at an athlete, male, female, black, white, and say, wow, if he or she is okay talking about this, then it should be okay for me to do it also. And I think that's important. That's an important message that I know we would love to get across to people, that it's okay to admit that you're not okay.
Yeah, it's not easy for people to do that publicly, so I take your point, and I join you. Kudos to all those professional athletes who are not shy about advancing that particular narrative and issue. So, Terry Carmichael Jackson, I want to come to you now. You heard Cheryl mention moments ago that she's in the hospital having just had her baby, and she wanted to see the tip-off between the L.A. Sparks and the New York Liberty. Speaking of the New York Liberty, my read is that it was a beautiful thing in terms of elevating and amplifying the story of the WNBA to see that Sabrina-Steph shootout last Saturday during the NBA All-Star Weekend. My sense, again, is that that's good for the league. What's your take on it, Terry?
Oh, absolutely. It's great for the league. And I want to talk about that, but I want to say that the women's tennis player that you were talking about that elevated and amplified mental health issues is Naomi Osaka.
Exactly.
That's it. Naomi,
that's it. Naomi,
I didn't want to leave this without calling out her name.
That's
There's so many players in W, Asia, Kayla McBride, and on and on. But with respect to your question about, Sabrina and Steph and that shootout, that was everything. That was everything. And we can't forget
that was the best part of All-Star Weekend.
Yeah.
The best part.
We can't forget how it came about, right? Because, I think Sabrina was the one who kind of put it out there, hey, let's do this. Let's have a shootout. And it kind of took off from there. Twitter is what Twitter will do. And folks, folks took that tweet and let it go viral. And there was I think a lot of interest about making that happen on both camps. And then throughout the league, and of course the players associations on both sides, the NBPA and the WNBPA, absolutely supporting that. When you see the eyeballs and the attention that the 2024 NBA All-Star got, be laser focused on Saturday, and particularly that segment of Saturday. I mean, the league was smart. The league was paying attention and following this. Its broadcast partner was paying attention and following this, and knew when to slot this, because you can't have it at the top of the broadcast, because after everybody sees it, they may turn it off. They may turn the televisions off.
Yeah.
Or they may be less inclined to really, to really focus in on all that is happening. And I have a son who plays in this league, so all due respect to the brothers in the NBA and those who are all-stars and those who were part of Saturday night. But we all know the real deal. All eyes on Sabrina. All eyes on Steph. And when Sabrina steps up and goes first, she's trying to get at least 30. She's picking up that speed and picking up momentum. She delivered. She absolutely delivered. And she delivered from the three-point line. Enough said.
Yep. My sense is
Wait. She delivered from the NBA three-point line.
Correct.
From the NBA.
Not the WNBA three-point line.
Correct.
The NBA
Correct.
Three-point line.
Indeed.
And it was Sabrina who said that's where I want to shoot from.
Yeah.
So yes.
No, she did her thing. There's no denying that. No denying that. My sense is, Cheryl, you first, and then we'll get Terry's take on this. My sense is though that the NBA players, many of them are really becoming vocal cheerleaders for the WNBA. I mean, Kobe, of course, was out front. God rest his soul. We just saw the statue unveiled here in L.A. Kobe was out front talking about this years ago. But there are a lot of NBA players who I see now really cheerleading the WNBA. Of course, it could always be greater, but that's what I'm seeing. What are you seeing, Cheryl?
Well, here's the thing. So even back in the day when the league started, we had those NBA guys. It was just very different because of social media.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
I got you.
So we had, just for example, playing here in Houston, we had the Moochie Norris and Katino Mobley and Steve Francis. Like, we had NBA guys that came out and they supported. It's just at a completely different level today. And that's what you want. You always want to be able to see growth. You want to be able to hear people talk about it. And I think it's great that the NBA players come out and support the WNBA and vice versa. WNBA is supporting NBA. I will say this, and this is just me.
Okay.
Does it – because a lot of people will say, well, if NBA players are watching and NBA players are talking about it, then it must be good. Well, it doesn't take an NBA player to validate how great these women are.
Mm-hmm.
And you hear that a lot. And so before Terry goes, because I want to address this whole, Steph and Sabrina shooting. I thought it was great. To me, that was the most exciting part of All-Star Weekend, if we're being honest, just my opinion. But then you have, Reggie Miller, Kenny Smith, they're commentating on what's going on, what you're seeing. And I know Kenny said it so he says in a joking way, but he says, well, no, I think Sabrina should have shot from the women's three-point line. And my point is, but why? Sabrina made the same amount of shots from the NBA line that Dame Lillard made, and he won the three-point contest.
Mm-hmm.
So,
say that part again,
to me,
Cheryl. Say that part again, Cheryl.
Well, she did. She made the same amount from the NBA line that Dame Lillard made from the NBA line, and he won the men's three-point shooting contest. And Steph only made, two more than she did?
I take your point.
But that's the type of stuff that when you're sitting at home and you're listening to that, you start questioning or wondering, oh, well, are these women really good? And I'm like, but him making that comment was crazy to me. Because one, it was Sabrina's suggestion. She said, I want to shoot from the three-point line. She did it. She held her own. She put the pressure on Steph. That's that type of stuff I hear, and I'm like, all right, let's move on to something else.
We will move on to something else, but not until I'm done with this, and we ain't done with this yet. When we come forward, I want to follow up on the brilliant point that Cheryl Swoops has just made. And the question I want to ask of Cheryl and Terry Carmichael Jackson as well is how they view, broadly speaking, the way that women's sports are covered in the media, period. There's no question but that they're getting more coverage, but what does that coverage look like? What does that coverage sound like when we talk about women's professional sports? We'll come right to that, I promise you, when we come forward on Tavis Smiley.
More of Tavis Smiley when we come forward.
If you're like me, 60 and retired, making ends meet, especially here at the supermarket and drugstore, is tough. I'm so blessed to have found benefitscheckup.org. It's a free and confidential website from the National Council on Aging that connected me to $1,200 a year in programs that help pay for food, medicine, utilities, and more. Maybe it can help you. benefitscheckup.org.
My daughter was diagnosed with a rare malignant rhabdoid tumor on the spine. They sent her straight to St. Jude. My hope was gone. But when you get there, everyone's like, hey, we're not going to give up. And when you see other people not giving up on your child, that makes all the difference in the world. When I found out I didn't have to pay, I was just grateful. They saved my baby's life.
Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
I'm Ray Harris, and here's the latest from the Black Information Network. Nearly all of California is under a flood watch after another atmospheric river is off the coast. The state is still saturated from the last powerful storm that swept in off the Pacific and dumped record amounts of rain in the area. The Weather Prediction Center has issued an excessive rain outlook for most of California through Wednesday. Dalton, Illinois Mayor Tiffany Henyard is on the defensive concerning criticism from trustees and the media who questioned her spending. The Black mayor lashed out at a recent public meeting. WGN-TV reports Henyard's spending of government money, and the probe shows tens of thousands of taxpayer dollars spent on trips, meals, and more. And that's the latest. I'm Ray Harris on your home for 24/7 news, the Black Information Network, and BINnews.com.
Wendy's Breakfast 2 for $3 Biggie Bundles lets you choose your perfect duo from your fave four, like a sausage or egg and cheese biscuit, small seasoned potatoes, or medium hot coffee. Limited time only during breakfast hours. U.S. price and participation may vary. Not valid in the combo. Single item at regular price.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
Lakers legends Michael Cooper and Jerry West are among 14 finalists for the class of 2024 Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame. Cooper helped the Lakers win 5 NBA championships. He also was an 8-time selection on the NBA's all-defensive team. This is the second time West is getting Hall of Fame consideration. He was inducted as a player in 1980. This one is for his work as an executive with the Lakers, Memphis Grizzlies, Golden State Warriors, and the Clippers. West is still working for the Clippers as a consultant. The inductees will be announced April 6th during the NCAA Final Four in Phoenix. Clippers coach Ty Lue was fined $35,000 by the NBA for criticizing the refs after the Clippers beat Golden State on February 14th. Lue was ejected from the game early in the fourth quarter after getting 2 technicals. Lue was one of only 5 NBA coaches that had not received a tech all season. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
Hi, I'm Zoe Williams, a.k.a. the Voice of Reason, encouraging you to join me weekdays from 7 to 9 p.m. for the world's most intriguing relationship radio roundtable. Every night, I facilitate and encourage our loyal listeners to participate in the most engaging relationship discussions you'll hear anywhere. So make it a point to rendezvous with me, Zoe Williams, the Voice of Reason, Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Trust me, your relationships will never be the same. The VOR is on fire tonight.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black. Climate justice, climate equity, climate resilience. By any other name, we demand environmental justice in 2024 and beyond. We're KBLA Talk 1580, and we don't black down.
KBLA Talk 1580 is the exclusive media sponsor of this light of ours, activist photographers of the Civil Rights Movement. A dynamic new exhibition on view now at the Skirball Cultural Center in Los Angeles. This light of ours showcases more than 150 photos taken by movement insiders from diverse backgrounds that reveal the vital work undertaken by a broad coalition of organizers and everyday people whose collective action changed America.
This light of ours is one of 3 temporary exhibitions currently on view at the Skirball, which together explore issues related to civil rights, immigration, and pluralism. Tickets and more information for all 3 exhibitions are available at skirball.org. That's skirball.org. SKIRBALL.org.
It's game day at Jim's house, and the spread is impressive.
Mike's already done some damage with the hot wings, and now he's dropping back and going deep for another slice of pizza.
I sure hope he brought the Pepto.
Mike knows that Pepto-Bismol provides fast 5-symptom relief from unexpected stomach upsets. He's no rookie.
The way he's throwing back those nachos, he's the GOAT.
Be ready for game day with Pepto-Bismol.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Are you facing an unexpected financial emergency? You need WeFixMoney.com. WeFixMoney.com can help you get up to $3,000 fast. WeFixMoney.com is free to use, available 24/7, and has an A rating with the Better Business Bureau. Go to the name you trust, WeFixMoney.com. If you need emergency cash up to $3,000 for bills or anything else, type WeFixMoney.com directly into your browser. That's WeFixMoney.com.
Hey, what are you doing up on the step stool?
About to clean these light fixtures. The whole family's coming over, and if there's even a speck of dust in the house, my abuela will find it.
Here, I got a Swiffer duster to help with that.
A Swiffer what?
A Swiffer duster. It has this cool extendable handle that reaches 6 feet to get high and low, with fluffy dusters that easily trap and lock dust.
So, no more step stool?
No more step stool.
Easily trap and lock dust from hard-to-reach places with the Swiffer duster. Love it or your money back.
Sounds different, huh? This is Tavis Smiley.
This is Tavis Smiley in dialogue with Cheryl Swoops, 4-time WNBA champion and WNPA Executive Director Terry Carmichael Jackson, who I'm honored to have on. Cheryl is in this documentary, and Terry is one of the exec producers of it. It's called Shattered Glass, a WNBPA story, now available to watch for free on Tubi. I've seen it. It's powerful and arresting, and I think you'll enjoy it as well. Again, streaming right now for free on Tubi, Shattered Glass, a WNBPA story. Thrilled to have Terry Carmichael Jackson and Cheryl Swoops on this program. All right, Cheryl, you set it off as you were wont to do. I ain't mad at you. You are a sister after my own heart. I ain't shy either. So you went there, and I want to follow you because I have my own take on this. But you were sounding off pretty eloquently about the ways in which commentators cover women's sports. And I have 2 thoughts here. Let me get both of them out, and I'll shut up and pass the mic to you, Cheryl. The first is that I hear you, and there are times when I notice that myself. I mean, obviously, I am a broadcaster. I've been doing this for a long time. So I'm hearing stuff and seeing stuff and feeling stuff that others might not catch the way you catch it, having been a player. So one, I'm simpatico with you on that point about the ways in which the game is covered or not. On the other hand, I'm also celebrating the fact that more women are in the broadcast booth. I mean, I was just talking to my board out, Miles, and can I just honestly tell you my favorite sportscaster these days for NBA games? Doris Burke. I mean, I love Doris Burke, the way she sees the game, the way she calls the game. I mean, these guys, Mike Breen, all these guys are great, don't get me wrong. But my point is that I'm celebrating the advent of more women in the broadcast booth, even as I am chagrined at times about the way these broadcasters cover women's professional sports. I shut up and I pass the mic to you, Cheryl Swoops.
Well, so you get me worked up.
Come on with it, Cheryl. Don't be shy.
Let me agree with you in saying Doris Burke. I think Doris, the way she, to your point, the way she sees the game, the way she breaks down the game, the way she brings the average fan into the game so they can understand what they're seeing. Absolutely love it. And since we're giving kudos, I'm going to put this one out there because I'm a huge Andrea Carter fan, a huge Monica McNutt fan. So I'm just putting that out there.
Fair enough.
So if we're talking about the All-Star game or All-Star weekend, with it being on TNT, why couldn't we have Candace Parker in the booth with Kenny Smith and Reggie Miller during the 3-point shooting contest, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of goes back to the point I was making earlier. Like, people think that if whether that's fans watching, like the NBA guys watching the game, or if it's the NBA guys commentating. So if Reggie and Kenny are saying, "Oh my goodness, Sabrina is really good," then she must be really good because they said it. But if you have someone like a Candace Parker also in a broadcast booth, when Kenny's making the crazy assumptions and crazy things that he's saying, that's where a Candace Parker, who has played in the league, who still plays in the league, who has played against Sabrina, like Candace can bring a completely different perspective from not just a female basketball player's perspective, but from a basketball player's perspective who happens to be a woman.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's very different coming from a female who's played the game versus a man who's played the game, and you're talking about a woman shooting the ball.
Yep.
Yes, I am so thrilled and excited that we have more and more women who are in the broadcast booth, who's getting more shine and more opportunity, but like let's not act like they're doing us a favor by adding these women in the booth. Let's just say they're good.
No.
They're knowledgeable, they're good at what they do, and it's okay to say sometimes that she just happens to be better than him, whoever that him is.
I received that. All right, Terry Carmichael Jackson, you've been patient. You are the executive director of the WNBPA. Your thoughts on this conversation that Cheryl and I have been engaged in about the way the media covers or not women's professional sports?
Yeah, I don't have much to add. I'm going to co-sign like 99%, 100% of what Cheryl just said. I mean, she stole my thunder. I was going to talk about and lift up Monica McNutt's name, Andrea Carter's name. I'm going to throw Chinea Gumake's name out there too. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to say Cheryl Swoop's name, because if you're watching basketball, if you're watching women's basketball, the WNBA, and you hear a game that Cheryl is doing, there is so much that she brings. There's so much history. There's so much knowledge as player, as coach. There's so much that she brings to it that you feel better. You feel smarter. Same thing when I'm watching and listening to Chinea Gumake. I'm like, thank God. Like, I don't want to lose her in the W as a current player, but I'm so thankful of what she's doing and the opportunity that she has and that she has really seized and made her own to make a name of herself on that broadcast side. You know, the women's voice is important in this, whether we're talking about the NBA games or we're talking about the WNBA games. There's a perspective that you just can't miss. And I love it. I want to see more of it. When it comes to the coverage overall, I keep going back to 2020 and everybody was home until the season got started again. And when our season got started, yes, viewership is through the roof because we found a way to make it accessible to the fans. Mm-hmm. Let's not hide let's not make it hard for the fans to try to find a way to watch WNBA games. If you put it on television, you make it accessible, then folks will come and folks will show out. And, our ratings were tremendous. We heard the men's leagues, and I'm not going to call them out, but we heard the men's leagues complaining about their viewership being down. And what they pointed to was, well, we had to compete against everybody else. Yeah, guys, that's what we do every season. That's what we do every summer.
Been there.
Right? We're competing. But when you make it accessible, when you show fans, when you tell fans every Friday you can watch it on ION, every Saturday and Sunday you can watch it on ABC or ESPN, folks know where to go. Yeah. And then, we see the kind of numbers that we knew were always there. Yeah. But the coverage has got to be better. We've got to talk about the collegiate game. We've got to connect it up with what they're doing in the WNBA, the professional ranks. And then we've got to connect it up. Don't forget, it's an Olympic year. We've got to connect it up with what these players are doing for USAB and for the national teams, because we have so many international players in the W.
When we come forward, there are 2 or 3 things I want to cover before I lose both Cheryl and Terry at the top of the hour. So we've got a few more minutes here. I want to talk about the collegiate game. You heard Terry mention a moment ago, there are a couple of players in particular in the college game that everybody's talking about these days. One at LSU, one at Iowa. You know who they are. I'm curious as to what we think their presence in the WNBA. I assume that's where they're headed. Curious as to Cheryl's take and Terry's take on what their presence will do for the game. I'm thinking back in the day when Magic and Bird were in college at Michigan State and Indiana State, respectively. And the NBA was sort of lagging at that point. But when Magic and Bird got to the league, it turned things around. The WNBA is not lagging, but I'm curious as to how they think the presence of the sister from LSU and the sister from Iowa will impact the WNBA game. And Cheryl started our conversation about 50 minutes ago talking about growth and opportunity. I want to ask both of them, Cheryl and Terry, honestly, what challenges they see that remain for the WNBA to reach its true apex. What are the challenges still for this league, even as we celebrate this documentary film now streaming on Tubi called Shattered Glass, a WNBPA story. More with Cheryl and Terry when we come forward on Tavis Smiley.
You're listening to Tavis Smiley. Ranked number 45 on the Heavy 100 list of the 100 most important radio talk show hosts in America.
What is dedication?
My biggest fear in the middle of my addiction was that my kids wouldn't have a father. And I started thinking, you know what? This isn't my story. I definitely had to become a better man to be a better father. It's important to me that my kids are empowered and truly believe that if they can think it, they can do it.
That's dedication. Visit fatherhood.gov to hear more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Joey from Vermont, a farmer trying to get through the winter. Adriana from South Carolina, a single mother living paycheck to paycheck. Liam from Ohio, an injured father struggling to provide for his family. Hi, I'm Shanola Hampton, and I support the Feeding America network of food banks because they help provide over 6 billion meals to people in need each year. Learn more at feedingamerica.org.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we do Black history every single day. In fact, as the only Black talk radio station west of the Mississippi, we are Black history. Our annual Black History Month luncheon is fast approaching, and we want to be sure to give you ample time to get your company, organization, church, or group to join us at this year's celebration on the last day of the month, Thursday, February 29th at noon. Last year, we honored iconic local Black media personalities, including Pat Harvey, Jim Hill, Mark Brown, Beverly White, Sandy Banks, and Pat Prescott, and raised $20,000 in scholarships. This year, we're honoring Black Hollywood creatives who have used their artistic genius as climate justice champions. At this year's luncheon, we will be showcasing and sharing their inspiring work on our big screen. Plus, a scrumptious meal, live music, great company, and lots of fun with your favorite KBLA Talk 1580 hosts. So contact us today at info@smileyaudio.com or call 323-290-4690. That's info@smileyaudio.com or call 323-290-4690. We hope to see you Thursday, February 29th as we close out Black History Month. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your Black.
Jim Gaffigan here with some more Straight Talk. Now you can get a Walmart Plus membership, plus not pay for it, because it's included with Straight Talk wireless plans. You get free delivery with Walmart Plus, plus a Paramount Plus subscription included. Plus, you pay less for gas. That's a lot of pluses.
Only Straight Talk gives you unlimited 5G data and Walmart Plus included on select plans for free.
Straight Talk wireless, available at Walmart.
Requires service on Gold or Platinum Unlimited. One offer per eligible account. Paramount Plus Essential Plan only. Separate registration required. Additional terms apply.
Ready to re-examine your assumptions and expand your inventory of ideas? More of Tavis Smiley coming your way right now.
Before I talk about the challenges that the WNBA faces as it continues its growth and opportunity, to use the phrase, offered to us by four-time champion Cheryl Swoops. I want to talk about the college game because Terry went there. Terry Carmichael Jackson went there moments ago. She's the executive director of the WNBPA. And the women's game has come on so strong, college and pro, Terry, that we know these players by first names now. Juju, Caitlin, Angel. My sense is that the future of the WNBA is bright, so bright, in fact, we might have to put our sunglasses on. That's how I see it. Terry, how do you see it?
Right on. That's the way I see it too. I mean, there's some more names you can
of course
missed out on,
yeah.
right? Cameron, Paige. There's so many. Whether they're coming out this year to join us at the professional level, or they're going to come out next year, we look forward to them, and we'll welcome them on the union side of the house. We will welcome them with open arms. But that's always been there. I think we're just finally paying attention. Right? We're finally paying attention. We've had elite star athletes, but as Cheryl mentioned earlier, it's kind of the power of social media. There's more eyes, there's more videos out there, there's more opportunities for us to see and for us to engage, and we're just talking about it more. I appreciate this moment right now with you, Tavis and Cheryl, to just keep talking about it, because when we do, then we're making somebody just heard me say, Cameron or Paige, and they're not sure who that is. They may not be sure who that is, so they're going to look it up right now. So I'm just grateful for this opportunity. But yeah, they are coming. They are big stars in their own right, and they will be joining our ranks, like I said, this year or next year, and we'll make it only brighter, bigger and brighter.
When we come forward in our remaining moments, we will give here's some final comments from the four-time WNBA champion Cheryl Swoops. You're listening to Tavis Smiley.
Seeking the truth, speaking the truth. This is the Tavis Smiley Show.
If you're like me, 60 and retired, making ends meet, especially here at the supermarket and drugstore, is tough. I'm so blessed to have found benefitscheckup.org. It's a free and confidential website from the National Council on Aging that connected me to $1,200 a year in programs that help pay for food, medicine, utilities, and more. Maybe it can help you. benefitscheckup.org.
My daughter was diagnosed with a rare malignant rhabdoid tumor on the spine. They sent her straight to St. Jude. My hope was gone. But when you get there, everyone's like, hey, we're not going to give up. And when you see other people not giving up on your child, that makes all the difference in the world. When I found out I didn't have to pay, I was just grateful. They saved my baby's life.
Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Stay Housed LA has the resources you need to know your rights and the legal support to back them up. The COVID-19 pandemic has cost people their jobs and livelihoods. This has left an estimated 1/3 of households not being able to make rent and facing losing their homes. This is a fear no one in our community should have to face. You have rights, though, and Stay Housed LA is here to help. Stay Housed LA is a partnership between the County of Los Angeles, the City of Los Angeles, and local community and legal service providers. Together, they provide tenants with the information and support needed to exercise their rights so they can remain safely in their homes. Find out more about your rights by participating in a virtual tenant workshop. Get the legal assistance you need. Find additional resources in Los Angeles County and the City of Los Angeles. Stay connected to Stay Housed LA County for updates. This and more at stayhousedla.org. Stay connected to Stay Housed LA for updates. This and more at stayhousedla.org. That's stayhousedla.org. Or call their hotline at 213-694-0040. We've got your black with a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Taco Bell just dropped the new Cravings Value Menu. Now you can get 10 items for $3 or less, which means you can get the food you want for the price you want. It's almost like you can have your cake and eat it too. But in this case, it's a double-stacked taco from the new Cravings Value Menu. So basically, you can have your double-stacked taco and eat it too, which is a lot crunchier than cake. The new Cravings Value Menu is here. Get it at Taco Bell today. At participating U.S. Taco Bell locations while supplies last. Contact store for price and participation which vary. Tax extra.
Who do you trust to get at the truth? Tavis Smiley. That's who. The conversation continues right now.
Got about 4 minutes left. 4 minutes left in this conversation with the great Cheryl Swoops and WNBA Executive Director Terry Carmichael. Too many letters there. The documentary that we've been discussing is called Shattered Glass, a WNBPA story, and now available for free on Tubi. I highly recommend it. Cheryl, you were there from the very beginning. At this point in the evolution of this game, to use your phrase, growth and opportunity, what do you see on the horizon for the WNBA?
Well, I want to just piggyback off of what Terry said. The growth of the game and the collegiate game, the WNBA, it's at an all-time high. And you can talk about the talent that these young women have and what they're going to be bringing to the league. I look at it on the other side as well, the fans, right? The fans, they're the ones that make the league go. They're the ones that watch. They're the ones that support. My hopes are that the players like an Angel Reese, a Caitlin Clark, a Cameron Brink. We have some years to go with Juju and Hannah Hidalgo, but their fan bases, they have a completely different fan base than we've seen in the WNBA, right? My hopes are that when they decide to leave, to Terry's point, whether that's this year or next year, that those fans will follow them to the WNBA, not just be their fans with their respective schools that they're playing for. And so I think that alone brings the excitement and takes the W to a different level. But I also would say just when you talk about growth and opportunity, my other hope is that because of this talent that's coming in the league and talent that we've lost, expansion, right? We will have a new team in the Bay Area in 2025. My hopes are that that's going to start happening sooner rather than later because there is so much crazy talent in college that's coming to the WNBA because of the lack of teams, because of the lack of roster spots. You know, we lose a lot of that talent, and that talent has to go play overseas, and sometimes they don't get the opportunity to play in the W. There's so many things we could point at and talk about, but to me, that would be one of the first that I would point at because I hate the fact that we end up losing a lot of this great talent that we have in college, and then they're not getting an opportunity to play in the WNBA just for lack of teams and roster spots.
Yep. I got 60 seconds left. I'll give 45 seconds to you, Cheryl, for the final word here, which is when you look back now on your 4 championships, situate that for me in your body of work.
Oh gosh, honor for one. I was just in a place. I always say God put me at the right place at the right time to be able to play with some incredible talent and against some amazing women. And those 4 championships will forever be at the top of my list, not just because it's a trophy, but because of the opportunity those championships has afforded me throughout my life.
Yep. None greater has touched the basketball in the WNBA, and I'm always delighted to be in dialogue with her. Cheryl Swoops, 4-time WNBA champion, and participates in this documentary called Shattered Glass, a WNBPA story, now available once again for free on Tubi. And how honored have we been to have had Terry Carmichael Jackson as well, who is the executive director of the WNBPA, who is also an executive producer on this documentary. Congratulations to both of you on the doc. An honor to have had you on this program. Thank you. And long live the WNBA.
Thank you, Tavis.
Thank you for coming on.
Thank you, Tavis.
Good to have you both here. Just like that, 3 hours gone. Our show is over until tomorrow when we're back here, Lord willing, again to do it all over. Until then, thanks for tuning in to Tavis Smiley. And as always, keep the faith.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Ray Harris, and here's the latest from the Black Information Network. Nearly all of California is under a flood watch after another atmospheric